FatDag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, FatDag.
I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello. Welcome to episode 144 of WhysAdvice. If you're following along in the app, this is the first episode after the Thanksgiving break. Man, it was good to get away for a few days, and my inbox just kind of blew up. I appreciate all of the texts, the comments, the emails, the social media tags. But I got to tell you, unplugging for a few days and really giving thanks and being with my family and hanging out was such a refreshing break. And it was so good to just kind of recharge all those batteries, which brings me right back to here. We are ready for episode 144. I want to give a quick shout out. While I was on vacation, I had a couple people while I was out and about in town pop up, and I was out and we were just kind of hanging out in the square with my family and taking some photos or whatever. And some people came up and said, "Hey, I recognize you from Connect." And so we chatted. You know who you are. I'm going to give you a shout out for sure. Down 81 pounds. You're killing it. You looked absolutely fantastic. Thanks for popping up and saying hello. It kind of made the night for the family. They all kind of were laughing. Hey, folks, don't be shy. If we're out and about and you see me running, come up and say hi. I want to know how your journey's going. I want to celebrate with you. I want to give you a high five in person and tell you that you're killing it. You're getting it done. And that's what it's all about, is that we continue to celebrate together. So thanks for that. While we're at Disney, same thing happened, sitting down eating and folks come up and say, "Hey, I recognize you from Connect," and "Hey, how are you?" So again, you guys know who you are. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being a wingman. Thanks for walking this journey with me. Episode 144, if you want to know when we go live, when I do the live show, Twitter is the best way. I think I finally got that settled in. Go to Twitter, follow the Twitter account WhysAdvice, and they get to tweet every time I update the show. When it gets added to the calendar, you'll know about it. 15 minutes before the show goes live, it sends out a tweet, and then as the show goes live, it gets a tweet as well. So that's how you'll know when and where the show is going to be live. Of course, you can always listen to the replay in the app or on YouTube. You can see the video. And then, of course, last but not least, hop over into the Wise Wingmen Facebook group and join about 2,500 of us in there who are just kind of hanging out and just celebrating this amazing journey. So go to WhiseWingmen.com to get caught up in there. But let's dive into 144. Colleen writes in and says, "I am thankful God has brought me through all of the grief-stricken moments in my life. 14 years ago, my husband and father of 3 boys died of lung cancer. I was 31. Our boys were 12, 11, and 6. No real time to grieve because I had the boys to focus on and they needed me. So food was my sanctuary. Years of dieting followed with lots of good moments, but mostly not so good. So I gave up. Fast forward to 2012, my mother-in-law, who loved me like her own and who I deeply loved, died. Even though we knew it was going to happen, it doesn't make it any easier. Food, again, was my sanctuary. Then the day my 20-year-old sweet son committed suicide, my world was shattered. Life would never be the same. I was in shock and disbelief. I found food again as a sanctuary because I could never let people know how broken I was and am. I joined Weight Watchers in October for the 4th time, I think, and I still didn't change much of my eating habits. Then I found you, thanks to my best friend in the whole world, Lori. The community, the Wise Wingmen group I've joined is so supportive, and this past week, I've done so much better with my choices. Not great, but better. Life has thrown me around long enough. The stories I have read and the welcoming everyone gave me lit a fire inside that had burned out so long ago. I thank you for all that you do. The positivity you bring into our journey is what I think so many people need and do not always get. I weigh in tonight. I'm excited to see my progress. Once again, thank you, Colleen. Well, Colleen, man, I got to tell you, what an amazing journey that you're on, and my heart continues and deeply goes out and breaks for you and your entire family. You've been through an awful lot, and I can't even for a second. There's nothing I can say to take that pain away. There's nothing I can say except for I'm thinking of you. I feel for you, and I'm so proud of you for being excited about to see your progress. You've come a complete long way in your journey where you've gone from the grief-stricken life, the grief-stricken moments that you've had, to now getting to a point where you are taking care of you. You can do this. And so your story talks about, every time something happens, you turn to food as your sanctuary. And I think what you're starting to realize is that every time you did that it didn't cure anything. It didn't stop the next tragedy from happening. All it did was just put you deeper and deeper away from taking care of you, the one thing that you actually can control. The positivity in this journey is what gets us all motivated, because we have to know that you can do this. If you've listened to the show, which I know you have, but as you listen to the show, you hear so many stories of people who are just like you, who've gone through tragedy just as you have, and they said, you know what? It's time. I'm going to do this. I can do this. Again, it's the one thing in life that you can control. And the fact that you end your email saying, I am excited to see the progress, is exciting to me as well, because you're taking care of you. In a world, in a life where everything has just kind of been thrown at you and tossed you around, you said, life has tossed me around long enough. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to relight this fire and get it done. The Wise Wingmen group, we're here for you. I just saw it on Facebook as we're talking. The folks said, we're here. We're here, Colleen. We're here to help you. We're here to walk with you and get you to goal. And when you do, it's going to be the most amazing feeling in your life. I promise you that. You can do this. So, Colleen, thanks for being here. We don't have to be great on this journey. And you summed it up beautifully in the middle. You say you haven't been great, but you've been better. Continue to build on the better, and the better turns into great. Colleen, thanks again. This next email, again, is also from an anonymous viewer, listener, I should say. And she writes in and says, Mike, I would like to keep my name anonymous, but feel free to share the rest. It is the day after Thanksgiving. We had a good Thanksgiving with my side of the family on Thursday, and we will have another on Sunday with my Weight Watcher buddies, my hubby's family. This Thanksgiving, we are very aware of how lucky we are to have both adult sons attend our family gathering. You see, one of our sons has schizophrenia. Last year, he would not attend a family gathering, and by early Christmas, his delusions took him to another state, which resulted in a long and needed hospitalization. About 2 years ago, we both got about halfway to our Weight Watcher weight loss goal. We lost 100 pounds together. We allowed the fallout of our son's illness to hinder our focus, and we eventually dropped out of Weight Watchers feeling defeated. Part of the reason we wanted to lose weight was to be healthy and here on this planet longer for our sons. Fast forward to present time, the day after Thanksgiving, instead of still basking in the joy we felt yesterday, we are cocooned in our home, worried nerves frazzled, inadequate emergency plans in place. Our son is in a psychotic state, and his well-being and future again is a big, scary question mark. My husband and I both stuck to our individual plans on eating on Thanksgiving, and we are sticking to the program today, even when surrounded by all the chaos and the fear that a mental health crisis can bring. I listen to your WhysAdvice app all the time. I'm a fairly new listener, and I am hooked. I am moved all the time by the fierce will to just go on, the human spirit that conquers adversities. I am so lucky to have two wingmen in my life. First, I have to give credit to my incredibly loving, sweet, bright son, who has been focused on his own health for a year now and was instrumental in catapulting us back into the Weight Watcher bandwagon. He has always been very caring. As a child and an older brother, he would take his arm, his wing, and pull his little brother close to him to shield him from perceived threats, the other kids who were being somewhat bullyish. It is so hard to know the agony he feels as he cannot protect his brother now from the ravages of mental illness the past 8 years. The clock struck midnight for him today, too. The future is again very precarious for our family unit. We may or may not know again the blessing of a simple meal eaten out with just the four of us. But I have to tell you about my wingman son. He stays on us about our program, our vitamins, our exercise, and on and on. He is extremely goal-oriented in his life, and he has had goals for us for the last year that we have accomplished with his prodding. Here are some of them. Mind you, as soon as we met one goal or before, he hit us up with another. Exercising daily, getting off diet soda drinks. My husband's very addicted, me somewhat. Decrease our salt intake, joining Weight Watchers, taking vitamins and minerals, getting through enough sunshine, weightlifting, and on and on. He worries about our health, and naturally more so with what a mental illness can add to the mix. His dad receives treatments for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes, and has sleep apnea and dips snuff. Losing weight is obviously a real life-saving measure in my husband's case, and he is again making great progress. And that takes me back to my two wingmen. You, FatDag, are my second wingman. I have told my son about you and how awesome you and your podcast are. I know it gives him comfort to know that there's another wingman out there helping take care of his parents. So I would just like to tell you how grateful I am for your podcast. I know for sure one out of so many reasons you are so successful is that you make us, your listeners, not feel alone, and we are all connected so powerfully in triumph and tribulation. Every time we tune in, we are guaranteed to be served up a big serving of hope. Hope for a better, healthier life. We know losing weight isn't going to solve all of our problems, but if we can be at our physical best, then when life hammers down on us, we have a fighting chance. And if we are lucky, we will have a wingman or two on our side. Sincerely and with gratitude, Anonymous. Once again, another email comes in that's just absolutely devastating in a sense where what we get dealt sometimes in life, we just absolutely can't control. So we have to now say, what in this scenario can we control? And that is our own health. And my heart breaks for your entire family to know that you're going through this, but I'm so proud of your son who stepped up in this scenario. And he said, Mom and Dad, I've got this. Mom and Dad, I've got you. I will take care of you. I just follow my lead. He's working there because he wants you to be around longer for him. He absolutely does. All of the medications, all of the health issues that you listed, I've received many, many emails from people who have cured themselves of them by simply getting in shape and losing weight. Now, certainly it's not a complete diagnosis. It takes more than that. But that is the first step. And the first step is to take care of you. We are so much better together, and so every time you hear that somebody else faces adversity and absolutely has the courage to move on and to fight on, they absolutely can conquer the adversities. We've been through a lot together. As a community, we've been through so much, and we're continuing to take care of ourselves. We're continuing to control the one things that we can control, and that is our own health. Way to go. You have an amazing head start in your journey. Together, you lost 100 pounds, which means there's no reason why you can't do that again. Continue to focus on all the things that you have going right. Continue to follow the advice of your son. You can change your life. You're right. The podcast is here to give up a great big serving of hope, but hope alone will not get this done. I can tell you how great it is to be at goal. I can tell you how many people have made it to goal. I can tell you about people who've gotten off of diet soda. I can tell you about people who've decreased their salt. I can tell you about people who've lowered their blood pressure, their high cholesterol. I can tell you people who've reversed their diabetes diagnosis. All of that is possible. But you can't sit around and wait for it to happen to you. You have to wake up, make a plan, and go make that happen. It doesn't require much more than hope and luck. Hope and luck are just the pieces that let you know it's possible. As you work through this with your son, as he continue to follow his prodding, he will get you to where you want to be, to the point where you're there on your own. You continue to adapt a healthy lifestyle, and then at some point you'll look up and he will say, Mom, Dad, I'm so proud of you. You completely changed your life. That right there will give you all of the mental strength, the physical strength, so that exactly like you said, when life hammers down, you have more than a fighting chance. You have a clear mind to battle whatever life throws at you next. I'm so honored to be your wingman. The community here is honored to be your wingman. We will walk with you every step of the way. Keep it up. Keep up the amazing work. Thanks for writing in. I put on Connect today something very similar to as you explained it is, how we handled Thanksgiving dinner is not an indication of what our journey is going to be like. It's how we handle the week after Thanksgiving that's going to give you a better indicator of our journey. And so here you are, you had an amazing Thanksgiving dinner, and then now this week is the true test. As you work through this week and you continue to stay focused on your goals, this is just an ordinary week. This ordinary week happens more often than the holiday does. So if you can get through an ordinary week, still on fire, still motivated, still kicking the plan and doing it well, then there's no doubt in my mind you can reach goal. Kerry writes in, says, hello, FatDag. You've been such an inspiration to me. I started my Weight Watchers journey on October 18th, and as of today, I am down 16.3 pounds. I am so close to my 10%. I'm a sailor in the world's finest Navy, and I've struggled to maintain my weight within standards my entire 10-year career. I have not seen that number since boot camp, and it's a goal of number 1. I no longer want to have to go through the rope and choke. I want to step on the scale and have them say, yep, you're good. I have failed one physical fitness assessment because of it, and I refuse to let it happen again. I have had 3 children in the past 4 years, and with each of them, I have added a few pounds to my non-pregnancy weight. Today, I hit my pre-pregnancy weight. I am over the moon excited. This plan works, and I'm so thrilled I decided to do it for myself. Thank you so much for helping me to understand that the why is the answer and not the how. Since realizing that, everything has started falling into place. Your shipmate or wingman, Carrie. Kerry, thank you for serving our country. Thank you for raising your hand and volunteering to serve and defend the Constitution of the United States. As you know, it's an honor for us to do that. So I thank you for taking that oath, and I thank you for taking that oath seriously. And so now, as you know, as we serve in the military, some of the things the nation asks of us, we have to be ready at a moment's notice to just kind of drop everything we're doing and go answer the call. So in order to do that, we have to be free and clear of anything that may get in our way and hinder us to get there. That includes, and it took me forever to realize it, which is why I share now, that includes being physically fit to fight. I love what you said, that you want to step on the scale and just have them say, you're good, without having to do any extra measures. And that's exactly the mindset that I faced when I did mine. Like, I weigh in down in my boots and my uniform and say that I'm good. And that's what it takes. And so that is so much more better or more fun than standing there struggling and the stress of standing on the scale, hoping it's going to be under, hoping you find the right person who's going to help you be a little lenient. As you know, episode 54 talks about that on me and my journey. And so I am done with that. You're done with that. 16.3 pounds, you're so close to your 10%. When you get to your 10%, you've proven now that you can set a goal. You can hit a goal. You're at your pre-pregnancy weight. The sky's the limit, as we say in the Air Force, or anchors away, as you say in the Navy. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. When you get to goal, reach back, look for someone in your tribe or in your, I guess in the Navy with you, right? Whatever, I forget what you call it, aboard the ship, and say, hey, how can I help you? Show them how wonderful the journey has been. Show them that it's possible. Because when as you know, if it's possible, once you know it's possible, then it's just a matter of getting it done. Rochelle writes in, says, hi, FatDag. I wanted to update my last email because you have an uncanny insight of knowing how someone feels without even knowing them. You were so right on so many things about my story. I wasn't ready to share until now. Because of you, I have my why, and it's so strong that it will get me to goal. It was funny. I had just realized it a week before my email was read, and you agreed with me that I am mentally at goal, just needed the scale to get there and catch up. I love this so much because I have a long way to go, but you are just one of my tools to keep me going. Like so many others, I'm a repeat Weight Watcher. I've been overweight my entire life, and I never had a healthy relationship with food until this year. May 2014, I was diagnosed with endometrial cancer. Luckily, I found some really good doctors, and I hope that I can say I'm in remission next year. Ironically, I was also doing Weight Watchers at the time. The doctors were thrilled and encouraging me to keep it going throughout my treatment. Well, I hit a plateau. Complacency. Life happens, and I stopped going to meetings. I never officially quit, so if I kept paying, I was still a good Weight Watcher, right? Sure, I would open the app from time to time, but I really wasn't doing anything. In November 2016, I knew something was seriously wrong. I called my mom because I couldn't walk without completely losing my breath, and I knew I couldn't make it to my doctor's office without some help. The doctor called the hospital to run some immediate tests, so I was sent to the ER, and they asked me if my weight was correct. 527 pounds. Does this sound correct? I had no idea since I maxed out at my doctor's office. How in the world could I have let myself get that high? They finally figured out that I had massive blood clots that formed in my legs and were trapped in my lungs. They were formed from me being sick and a lack of activity. Well, I knew I had to do something immediately because hearing, "You are so lucky to be alive," is a serious wake-up call. Yeah, I didn't learn my lessons from being diagnosed with cancer or arthritis, etc. It took me 2 months before I had enough courage to walk into the Weight Watchers meeting. Granted, not the same meeting place I was previously attending. No judgments, just a warm welcome, and "We are glad you're here." Boy, was I happy when I got on the scales and I lost 25 pounds, but the number was still way too high. I finally did manage to go back to my original meeting place, and they were ecstatic to see me. I couldn't believe people even remembered my name. Lots of hugs, and "We were glad to see you, and we're glad to see you're doing so well." I guess I was lucky to have 2 different meeting places close by to me so I can go between them both, since I truly like both leaders and the people that attend them. Sorry for this being long, but I know if my message can help just one person to keep going and not end up like me. People see me walking in my walker, and I no longer am feeling any judgment and or feel that I need to be compared to others. I am thankful for my body and for not giving up on me. I am changing so much as a person, and I am learning to love the new me. People do ask me how much weight I've lost, but I'm really careful of who I tell because I can't let the scale rule my journey, so only certain people know my numbers. This tribe is included because we are better together, 132 pounds and counting. Thanks, Rochelle. Rochelle, let's start with the obvious. 132 pounds down is amazing work. Congratulations. You don't lose 132 pounds by accident. So the fact that you finally got a wake-up call and said, I am ready to get this done, is what's going to tap into that why. That's what's going to carry you all the way to goal. Now, when you talk about, the cancer diagnosis, the arthritis not being a wake-up call for you, I think a lot of times we just assume that those things just happen. We don't associate them with our lifestyle. Well, then all of a sudden when someone comes in and talks about the weight side of it, that is truly associated with the lifestyle. So that is when your why became focused, is when someone finally said, hey, was this 527 sound correct? So I'm glad that the amazing doctors there to be able to save your life and get your blood clots under control, to give you a second chance on life. You are absolutely lucky to be alive. What's beautiful of that is that not only are you lucky to be alive, is the reason you're alive is that you can continue to show other people that you can do this. You can do whatever you want to do. And as you work through this program, you're down 132 pounds. You've got this. If you've lost 132 pounds, well, surely you can lose 133. And if you've lost 133, well, certainly you can lose 134. And that's all you need to focus on. You need to focus on getting some more activity in. We don't call it exercise. Just do something. Continue to live the healthy lifestyle that you've adopted, and that will carry you to goal. The piece of your email that I'm absolutely really honored and proud to read is that as you walked into the meeting room, the folks in there, it's the same thing I experienced over and over and over. We are glad you're here. Just about every single person in the meeting room, we can identify with the journey. The journey is the same for all of us. Doesn't matter the starting weights, doesn't matter the ending weights. But what we know is that the mental side of this, we beat ourselves up so much that sometimes we refuse to go back to a meeting place where the only place where we ever really got any support. And so if you can walk into a meeting room and get that support, our brain is what tells us when we quit going, that we can't go back there. It's not the meeting room that doesn't welcome us back. I've very rarely heard a story where someone in the meeting room didn't open with open arms and say, welcome back, we're glad you're here. And the reason we're glad you're here is because we realize this journey is better together. We realize that we need to pull off inspiration from each other. There are days when I'm strong, and there are days when you're strong, and often they are days apart. And so when I'm down, I need your inspiration to pick me up, and when you're down, my inspiration picks you up. That's why we're glad you're here. I can't do this alone. You can't do this alone. Your meeting room can't do it alone. You're absolutely lucky that you have two different meeting places close by. You can bounce between them because, you're right, both leaders and the people that attend are amazing. That is where you should focus. That is where you should bring your inspiration. That is where you should grab your inspiration, take that 132-pound loss, turn it into 132 to 133 to 134, live a healthy, happy life, and watch how your life completely changes, and those around you change their life as they see that what you're doing is possible, and they want to have that success as well. Rochelle, thank you so much for writing in. Thank you for your email. It's an honor to walk this journey with you. Last up says, hi, Mike. I hope you don't get tired of hearing this from people. I got my 10% charm today. I was so thrilled. And the receptionist that gave it to me turned out to be someone from high school 1,000,000 years ago. How cool. Thank you for your service to our country and the help that your podcast have provided, Lisa. Lisa, congratulations on your 10%. 10%, you start regaining some of those health benefits that you've given up on because of your lifestyle. When you reach 10%, you've proven that you can set a goal, you can work towards a goal, you can be imperfect and still reach the goal. And what that proves is that you can set another goal and you can hit whatever goal you want, because if you've hit your 10% goal, then you have all the tools necessary to continue on and reach your healthy weight goal. So Lisa, congratulations. I'm so proud of you, so honored to walk this journey with you. And let's go continue to celebrate. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on Listen Now to send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebration because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. As you hear so often on the show, there are some amazing people doing some amazing things. I think that includes every single one of us. Whether your journey is full of ups and downs, or you're just starting, or you've been doing it forever, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here now. You're focused now. You're getting the tools you need now, and you're setting a plan so that you can reach your goal. As you do that, other people see that. Other people want that same level of success that you're having, and that is what carries the entire community to goal. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.